Your inner voice is wiser than your fear. On this episode of Where Grief Meets Grace, we're learning how to listen to and trust ourselves as a brave shift towards greater self love and acceptance. Welcome back to Where Grief Meets Grace, a space for us to explore grief with curiosity, courage, and connection. Hi, I'm Fatima. I'm a certified grief coach and trauma support specialist, but most importantly, I'm someone who, like you, has experienced loss, struggled with grief, and longed for a better way to navigate complex emotions and how they impact my life. This led me to create the Where Grief Meets Grace companion journal for living with loss, which is framed around the 5 pillars of becoming grief wise. In episode 1, we began with getting to know grief, and today we'll touch on pillar 2, listening within. I invite you to either grab the hardcover or the digital version of the journal and follow along. I want to start by reading a few sentences from page 29 of the book. The emotions we experience while grieving are normal. The guilt, anger, joy, and confusion are all valid responses to loss. Leaning into self awareness is not about judging or fixing these feelings, it's about noticing them with compassion and taking the appropriate action when they arise. Not judging, not fixing, but noticing, acting, loving with compassion. It's important to note that grief not only impacts our mental and emotional health, but also our physical health. We can scan our bodies and notice the clenched jaw or the tight shoulders, the digestive issues and sleep disruptions, even more severe issues like migraines and high blood pressure. What are our minds and bodies saying to us? And the bigger question is, are we listening? Take a look at page 47 and finish a few of these sentences with me. One feeling I've been avoiding that deserves my attention is. We've all said something like, I'm not going to cry today. I'm not going to be sad today. I'm going to push through. I'm going to think positive. But there may have been a feeling that deserved your attention in that moment. So think about what that is today and write that down. Next, my body often signals grief by. What is that big red flag that your body shows you when it's one of those high grief days? Also, the inner voice that I've ignored for too long says. We have a funny way of bringing things to the surface, whether we want to or not. So you may have been ignoring it, but it's keep replaying in your head over and over and over again. So that inner voice that you've ignored for too long, what is it saying now? The part of me that needs comfort today is maybe it's the version of you from 10 years ago when you first were dealing with the loss. Or maybe it's who you are now, a little bit scared and uncertain about how to move forward in the future. Now, I will say that listening within and becoming more self aware are somewhat of the easier parts to this. The harder parts are self acceptance and treating yourself with kindness and care. It's about acknowledging that I feel hurt, guilty, sad, or relieved, and accepting that those are real pieces of me as a grieving person. Not fighting those feelings, but understanding that those are remnants from the losses. However, we have to be cautious though, because sometimes we lie to ourselves. And here's what I mean. Let's say you've suffered a job loss and you've been out there applying and networking, but no one has called with an offer. And those resume rejections have now turned into, I'll never find a job. I'm not qualified. No one wants to hire me. I'm not good enough. We often go on a doom spiral without examining these thoughts and feelings for truth, and that is a bit dangerous. So instead of sitting in and listening to, no one will ever hire me, intentionally seek factual alternatives in those moments. The job market is a disaster right now. I need to tweak my resume or my approach. I need a financial strategy if I don't get steady income soon. Now may be the perfect time to start that business that I've been dreaming about. You see, challenging your thoughts and feelings and bringing them into a lens of truth is what makes acceptance possible. And that's the gateway to self-empathy. That's pillar 2, listening within, increasing awareness of your mental, physical, and emotional state, taking action to ground your thoughts in truth and be proactive about your health, and being gentle with yourself in light of all that you're carrying. As you continue your reflection, I want to leave you with one more thing to consider. What will help you view your grief more tenderly and more compassionately? You deserve to grieve with grace. And I sincerely hope that between episodes, you'll use the journal as a guide and connect with our community at griefmeetsgrace.com. Remember, hope is always present, and you're not alone on this journey.